Alright, here we are. We lost the die roll. That's fine. We will keep this hand, and we're going to see what happens. We've got Ponder into finding us more lands, so I'm pretty happy. Okay, what have you got for us? Our opponent is starting off with... Uh-oh. Alright. Let's see what that tells us. Come on, Moto. Alright. We are going to start off with a Tundra and a Ponder. And those are cards that I think are important to have here, so I'm going to... Alright, let's make sure that I stack this properly. The Wasteland is the least important, I think. Well, yeah, we already have one Wasteland. Yeah, I'm going to put this one on top, and then that, and then that. And then we will F2. Okay. Alright, well, we might just die here. Let's see. Okay. Well, our opponent is looking for a Reanimate. So, stand back, everyone. Casting a Ponder, huh? That's fine. I think. Okay, well, we got lucky. Now we are going to Wasteland, and we're just going to pass here. The reason is I'm not going to cast Ponder, because I want to have Spell Pierce up. That's fine. Our opponent is again looking for mana. I'm not ready to Daze yet. Okay, now we are going to go with a Tropical Island and a Ponder. And we are, of course, looking for... Alright, Force of Will. That's the one that we want. So now we're going to put the Savannah... We actually do want to draw that land. So I think that we're actually going to put the Brainstorm, and then the Savannah, and then the Force of Will, and then not shuffle. Okay. So now we are feeling secure in our security blanket, and I'm less frustrated. Alright, Exhume. We're going to Daze that. Good for us. Then we're going to Wasteland. Our opponent is probably not happy. But, I mean, what do they want? We're casting the spells we drew. I'm sorry that you got unlucky. So yeah, so now we're going to very patiently wait until we have Snapcaster up to end of turn. We're just going to play a very, very patient game here. We have all the cards we need to win. Brainstorm is fine. I'm not willing to walk into a Reanimate. Ponder is fine. Okay, then we will just play this Tundra and continue on with our lives. Again, we have an abundance of interactive spells. Alright, well we're going to Force a Will that. We're going to pitch Snapcaster Mage. Hopefully we don't get hit with a Force a Will, in which case we will lose. In which case I'll feel dumb for not having burned the Spell Pierce on a Ponder or Brainstorm. Alright, well we're getting Force a Willed. So this means we're gonna have to Brainstorm and dig deep. Let's Brainstorm. Okay, so we are going to probably lose here, but we will put back Savannah and Tropical Island, sure. So I wonder if our play was incorrect, that we allowed our opponent to get more lands. Well, we would have burned our Spell Pierce. I'm not sure. I don't know what our opponent is waiting for. But clearly they're doing something. Come on. What have you got going on here, Glimpse of Randomness? Well, our opponent has gone to the restroom, but alright. Yeah, that's gonna resolve. Okay, you're at 3. Man, what if we just played Volcanic Island and Bolt? Our opponent would be so sad. Okay. Opponent is entombing an Iona. We'll Spell Pierce that. See if our opponent has another answer. Okay. Tropical Island says, I'll slam down a True-Name Nemesis here. And now our opponent can't Gristlebrand again because I'll just kill them. Alright, 12 to 10. Sure. Alright, now I think we're going to lose. I really want to just scoop him up, but we'll be good. It's taking them so long. Alright. Pithing Needle, huh? What are they going to name? Doesn't really matter. Chase the Mind Sculptor. Alright, we'll scoop them up. Alright, let's go to the sideboard here, where we will bring in these surgicals and these magic cards. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So we get to sideboard out 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Is Swords to Plowshares a realistic card against our opponent? I mean, we can have a Sylvan Library for sure. I don't hate this setup. It gives us a lot of blue cards for Force of Will. Still a realistic number of threats. The question is obviously whether we care about trying to answer a creature after it gets into play. And I don't really love trying that game plan, so we're going to just try it like this. And our opponent is, of course, taking their sweet time. On the mulligan decision. So yeah, we're just going to go Flooded Strand, crack for Trop, play Deathrite, and well, our opponent is going to be hopefully dead to rights. Alright, our opponent took a mulligan. Okay, play that, crack for a Tropicool island. And play the Deathrite Shaman. And our opponent is taking some time. I like how there's this storm count over here in the corner. Just in case I have a Tendrils in my deck. It's important to know. Alright. What have we got? Okay. Our opponent is going hard here. Alright, yeah, we get the rest. Probably going to take Brainstorm. Interesting. Alright. So now we're basically just gonna chill out, and we have tons of counter magic, so I'm not worried. If our opponent has Abrupt Decay, that'll be good. But our opponent is taking a mighty long time here on their decisions, which is a little irritating. I wonder if our opponent has internet connection problems. That would explain this. Come on. I want to play the game. I don't like waiting. It's so annoying when you just have to chill out and wait. Alright. I guess our opponent is playing a fast deck, so they're able to take frequent bathroom breaks. Okay. I will crack for an Underground Sea, at which point I will exile this Duress. Come on. Don't lag on me now, Magic. I'll play the Wasteland and send it back. So now I wonder what our opponent is thinking. Yep. Our opponent is killing themselves, and we're going to get to kill them more because their Thoughtseize deals them 2, and then the Deathrite will gallantly march up and munch on that Thoughtseize and eat them for another 2. So it'll be at 13. Alright. Taking Flusterstorm, I respect it. They're going to get a basic island, I'm sure. Yeah, that's fine. Again, our opponent is under extreme harassment from Deathrite Shaman, so I'm not super concerned. I just don't want to get hit with a show and tell. Alright, let's eat that Brainstorm. I'll play the Wasteland. Sure, why not? Alright. So our opponent's at 12 now, with potential to go down to 10 and then 8. Should be good. And they can't they have to go on the basic land plan. We will eat the Ponder. Pass it back. So now we've got... okay. Now they're going to do something. I'm going to float a blue mana and Daze. And now we will eat that. And then we will eat that Thoughtseize. Play that and send it back. Our opponent says, I did not think this through. And yeah, I guess you didn't. And now we will exile show and tell. Okay. Now we're just going to eat our own graveyard and kill our opponent that way. Eat our own Daze. And then our opponent is probably going to scoop him up. Okay. What are they going to try now? Exhume. Alright, well, I will respond by... Well, I'll just Spell Pierce it. Actually, first we'll fetch. We'll get another tropical island. Then I will Spell Pierce it. Exiling Jin-Gitaxias. What a card. Alright. Force of Will is fine. Exhume will see. Another Spell Pierce. And now I wonder what our opponent is going to do. Maybe they'll Flusterstorm? In that case, I will just Deathrite to eat the Gristlebrand. As our opponent only has... Okay. The game ended. Alright. To the sideboard. I'm still pretty inclined to just keep maximum blue cards to throw away to Force of Will, even if they are not great, i.e. True-Name Nemesis, compared to Swords to Plowshares. I think that this is just fine and dandy. Hopefully, this game, we can get our opponent via... We can extract their brains. Alright, I'll keep this hand. And we will say go for it. Alright. Now we are going to get a tropical island. We have 2 pieces of protection, which is good enough for me. It's not like it... I mean, in theory, if we had another blue source, or another colored mana source, i.e. not Wasteland, then we could just hold up Spell Pierce. I'd rather just get in there, you know? Just get aggressive. Just play our power card. Man, if our opponent Force of Wills this, whoo, baby! And they're thinking about it. Or else they're getting another pizza. Or maybe they ordered Chinese food. I wonder. I usually, if I'm ordering a delivery, I'll get pizza. But that's because I love pizza. But Chinese food is also pretty good. Or it could be something even a little bit more exotic. Something a little less usual than just typical delivery food. Maybe our opponent has a... Alright. I'll stop contemplating what random unfortunate events could have befallen our opponent. Okay, so they're brainstorming in the end step. Yeah, I mean, we're going to allow that to happen. I'm not willing to burn a Daze on that. Basically, we will lose to Land, Lotus Petal, Entomb, Reanimate, Force of Will backup. That's what we'll lose to. It's possible. It's been done, but it's not that likely. All right. Well, our opponent is putting us under some duress, probably taking our force of will. And we are going to send them back to the Stone Age with Wasteland. I mean, you're going to take force of will. Come on, glimpse of randomness. Maybe our opponent's toilet is clogged, and they have to, every couple seconds, go run over to their bathroom and aggressively plunge their toilet. Maybe it's something even more sinister. Who knows? The question remains, what could our opponent be thinking right now? Let's get some actual strategy in this video. So our opponent is tanking, and we don't know if they're just tanking because, you know, they're slow or because they actually, yeah, okay, they took force of will, because they actually have some obscure game plan that they need to stick. Okay, they're just not doing anything. And we will play Wasteland and Wasteland the Sea. And send it back. I'm certainly not going to attack. The 1 point is not important enough. Alright, this is going to get spell pierced. And then we will play a Misty Rainforest. This way we can start harassing our opponent with some actual pressure via Deathrite Shaman. Now we'll get a C. Whoops. Exile Duress. So, I'm not going to jam the True-Name. We have Spell Pierce and then Snap Spell Pierce up. And Daze. So, yeah, our opponent has just typed in that they're aware of all the cards that we have. So they have to go, they have to go for a show and tell kill here, I think. But we have all of this soft permission. Our opponent probably has Abrupt Decay in their deck. That's something to consider. They chose not to shuffle, so that means that they think that they have the tools to beat us in those cards. We will exile the Ponder. Yeah, that's getting decayed. Okay. Now we'll just send it back. What a card. That is an interesting one. Okay. They're probably just going to pass to us. Okay, Surgical is a good one for us to draw here. We're going to slam True-Name Nemesis right now. So now we're going to have some opportunity here. Alright, our opponent is going to loot a creature into their graveyard. And now we are going to Force of Will, pitching our Spell Pierce. Alright. We are going to now we're sad. We'll pay some life. Our opponent has Jin-Gitaxias. Okay. That's not actually the end of the world for us. And we're going to exile all of our opponent's copies of... Let's see, what else do they have in their deck? Probably all of our opponents... Well, those are all their show and tells, so we'll probably just take all of their... Brainstorms? Ponders? I like taking all of my opponents' yeah, we'll get rid of their ponders. Okay, so then that resolves. Then that resolves. Then that targets Surgical. Then that targets Snapcaster. And then our opponent will draw some magic cards. And then we will Surgical all copies of... Actually, let's Surgical all copies of... Yeah, we could get Force of Will. No, we'll get rid of Ponder. Alright, well, we're gonna get Gristlebranded. Okay. What did we see in our opponent's hand? I didn't write it down. Alright. Our maximum hand size is reduced by 7. Alright. We will attack you. And then we'll just slam that guy. Whoops. We will get rid of our opponent's Gristlebrand. Alright. And we're going to have to discard this Daze. Alright. Our opponent drew Entomb. Well, we lose. What do they get back? Elishnorn? Yeah, we're dead. Alright, well that was interesting. We'll be back for the second match, where hopefully we don't get got by a Jace Telepath Unbound that puts us in a very, very awkward position.